Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on CNBC News, NBC Sports, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. Over 100 countries. We are the number one station here in the Inland Empire, and this is the number one show at 8 a.m. in the IE, and I'm so grateful and happy that you are here with me. And I'm excited to tell you a couple of things. Tomorrow's show, because it is December the 7th, the anniversary, it's the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. I'm going to be bringing you some clips from my on-location beat reporting as hashtag Dr. Marissa reporting live of this wonderful event that happened as send-off at John Wayne Airport of 7 honorable veterans who fought in World War II. And this group decided, or several groups, but one group in particular pulled it all together and sent the 7 veterans and their families to Hawaii for the marking of 80 years of Pearl Harbor. So I'm going to bring you that tomorrow. And the following day, I'm very excited to announce and get your attention. So anyone who remembers Stand By Me, Gremlins, Goonies, there's so much more. I mean, Corey Feldman has so many films under his belt and an incredibly complex life. And I got to interview him some years ago with his wife, Courtney, and they're launching something called the Love Box. And I told them I'd always be happy to have them. So Courtney reached out and said, yes, we'd love to come back on. And that'll be Wednesday. So keep it tuned here. I just love interesting people. And that's what you'll get here. So without further ado, here's more of my spotlight interview with Dee Wallace.
And we talked about this actually the first time I got to interview you, my own, that I got that same message that you did in the Midwest, but I think in China it goes on steroids because it's an art form. If you ask a Chinese carpenter if he does good work, he'll say, oh, no. I mean, it's so... I had shared with you my mom's message, don't just, be quiet. And why do you have to show off like that? And why do you have to do any of that? And that Chinese and Japanese saying the nail that stands up is hammered down. There's real big incentive. So you'll be so proud of me, Dee, after you yelled at me.
Did not yell at you, woman.
Lovingly. The universe must have heard because I had Rachel Lang from Listen Up, the show that's on UBN as well. She came and did my charts. And guess, okay, so I don't know if you know, I'm a Leo. Guess how many planets I have in Leo?
I don't know.
6. Not only am I a Leo, I have 6 planets. Sun, the moon, Mars, etc. Okay, so all of a sudden in the middle of that show, I had my channel was open and this incredible light came and this aha insight was, you know what, of course I want to be in front. Of course I want to be heard. Of course I want to be there.
And let me tell you, you can have all the planets aligned for you, and if you don't say okay, they sit there in frustration.
Right. And that moment I said, okay.
And that is very much a metaphor for sex, by the way.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to let you in. Yes,
literally.
I'm going to accept you. Yes, I'm going to experience the high of going with the flow, claiming my power and my strength, and giving over and working with the universe at the same time. I mean, that's a definition for sex right there.
Right. And then we're fighting against another traditional message, which is women are not supposed to enjoy sex. And if you...
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't get that one. I really didn't get that one. in the Midwest, my big one was, well, you have to be married. It has to be legal, right?
Yeah.
And so, of course, my first marriage, I was a virgin, and I got married like a good girl, and I married a gentleman who was totally impotent. And
Ouch.
fortunately, my mother came forward to annul the marriage.
Oh.
Yeah, and let me tell you, back in Kansas in the 60s, that wasn't an easy thing for her to do. But she said, my daughter is not going to live her whole life with this.
Wow.
With no sex, with no enjoyment, with no kids, with no. So, but we have to be willing to, just like channeling information, you've got to open yourself up and give yourself over to it. The only time sex is really, really great is when you let go and you go, take me on the ride, baby. And isn't that true with the universe?
Right.
Take me on the ride, baby. This is what I want.
Yes.
I want a great orgasm experience in my life.
Right.
I want more than enough money and great love relationships and great friends and success wherever I'm going. Give me that orgasmic life. I'm in. I'm letting go.
You sold me. So, well, okay, now I'm going to try to put a little ice water on here. What do you say to the people who are from the Midwest and Texas who say, the problems we have today are because we have no more values. There is, premarital sex is not even a word because people are just, we're having the second sexual revolution. We're going to end up in Sodom and Gomorrah. All of this, freedom to have any kind of sex, the different things on porn, trans everything. So what do you say? How do you address that kind of downer? Sorry.
Well, I don't think it's a downer. I think it's almost a separate subject because the people who are sex addicts and have to have the porn and have to have the constant sex to fill them up are doing it's sort of the other side of the coin.
The other extreme.
They're doing it in order to feel self-love and feel loved, but because they don't love themselves, no matter how much sexual exploitation they do, they never get satisfied. So any way you look at it, loving yourself is really the answer to every sexual question out there, they're saying. My channel is saying.
Okay.
Because if you don't love yourself, you're going to try and fill yourself up with false love and gratification. And if you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to fully give yourself over to the proper, what we call proper, the expanding sexual experiences that you want with a beloved other. And they're saying the fact, really, that marriage has to have something to do with it is totally antiquated.
Okay. So you can love yourself and be in a loving relationship without being married. You don't have to be married.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
that's a true statement.
Okay.
And that's been going on since the beginning of time, by the way.
So is there any value to the marriage?
Well, I think we know that there's value to the marriage if the marriage
coming
makes
from someone
you
who's
happy,
happily divorced.
and if the marriage is fulfilling you in ways that you want to be fulfilled, and if the marriage justifies and expands your experience of your own magnificence. If not, leave.
Right. Okay, let's go back to loving yourself, because I think this is the topic we're supposed to be talking about, and with regards to like a runway or a pathway to fabulous sex. So if you're a listener, if I'm a listener now that says, I just don't love myself, and I know many of my clients, well, that's, the coming in point for many of my Life Balance coaching clients is, I don't love myself. I can't love myself. How can I love myself?
Okay, well, first of all, I can't love myself is BS.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't love myself is a choice.
Right. But they'll say, how can I love myself when I looks like I'm a fat slob, or how can I love myself when I have made such poor choices in my life? How can I love myself?
And I'm telling them all those things are excuses, because if you really do want to love yourself, you will get up and go, no matter how I look and no matter what I've done before this moment right now I'm choosing to love myself. I'm directing myself to be open to the possibility that I can absolutely, totally love myself and start seeing how magnificent I am. They're a fat slob because they don't love themselves. That, you see, they got it backwards.
Okay. So what is your...
Well, first
what
of
do
all,
they do?
You have to choose. You have to go, okay, I'm going to do this. And in that moment of choice, everything shifts.
Okay.
So the second thing is then, once you choose to do that, you have to live consciously, guys. It's not like somebody's going to snap a finger, you're going to buy a DVD or read a book or go to a lecture that's going to turn everything around. Those things will give you some tools that you have to turn yourself around with.
Got it.
And everybody wants this quick fix, sound bite fix, and it's not a truth. It's not a truthful thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
You have to live your life consciously. And that means you get up every day and you go, okay, today I dedicate myself, I direct myself to love myself. I'm choosing to love myself. So when you walk by that mirror and you go, oh my God, my butt is so fat. Oh, hold on. Does that thought and does that focus support me loving myself? No, it doesn't.
But then, are you in denial? Like, are you lying to yourself?
No, you're literally redirecting you. You're reteaching yourself how to think, how to perceive yourself, how to look at yourself in the world, how to replace your belief systems that, they loved us a lot, guys, but bottom line, they taught us all the wrong stuff that they were taught, and they were taught that because their parents, it's sins of the fathers.
Yeah.
And it's not truthful teaching. We have got to re-educate and reteach and retrain ourselves, and especially our little girls and boys within us, because they're running the show.
Okay. So women who feel like they are not, they're past their prime. So that's a large group of my listeners.
Well, okay, so where did they get that definition? First of all, what's your prime? What's your definition of prime?
Well, I've heard 50 bandied around.
Okay, well, see, my definition of prime is being active and excited and creating everything I want to create. See, so my definition of prime doesn't have anything to do with a number.
With an age, right.
Okay. And if it has to do with an age, then you're buying into society's hypnosis that it's trying to give you.
Okay. So so don't buy into that.
50, we get AARP and all that crud starts coming to us. In this country, we are hypnotized to start getting old at 50. Unless, you see, you are the director of your own energy. And you know that so if I want to stay young, sure, I power walk almost every day because I want a body that feels great. I want to have a lot of energy. So I choose to do the things lovingly for myself that will help create that.
Right. Yeah, that's the creator.
It ain't going to happen while you sit there eating donuts.
Right. Watching Netflix.
And that's what I mean. If you have to decide what you want, you have to commit to what you want, and then all your thoughts, your perceptions, your belief systems have to back that up.
Right. It can't sit under the Bodhi tree. So women who, here's another listener question. I feel younger than my bio age. I am attracted to men who are younger than my bio age because they are vibrating vitality. I don't want to be called a cougar. So what do? The men that are my age.
Well, she's already answered her own question. And what the channel said before you even finished is she doesn't know that she has this belief, by the way, but she doesn't believe that younger guys will be attracted to her. And so the whole stuff about cougar is an excuse to not put that out there.
But I'll speak. That wasn't me, but now I'm going to come forth and say something about myself. Because my engineers always go, "Is that you? You're talking about your friend." But for me personally, I just, am I buying into society because I don't want to be seen as the Mrs. Robinson?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I have to let go of that BS.
Because most women, they'll sit there and judge you in public and wish they were you in the bedroom.
Okay.
See, that's what I mean. All these puritanical things that are left over from all of our religious teachings don't really have anything to do with the truthfulness of what we're dealing with.
But
the other point that they want to make is that youth, again, doesn't have anything to do with age. Let me tell you, I dated a 30-year-old who came on to me. I'm 66.
You look fabulous.
I do, don't I?
Yeah.
I do.
Yes, you do.
And I get up every morning and look in the mirror and go, you are sexy and you are fabulous and your body is tight and it's taut and you're aging younger every day.
Okay.
And feel that. I feel into that. But what my point that I wanted to make was the guy I'm with now, who I think I'll probably be with the rest of my life, is 70.
Oh, okay.
And incredibly young, full of energy, just started studying a whole new, he's still working, but he's just started taking classes on this new venture that he wants to do. He's still learning. He's still growing. He's a maniac in bed. And a sense of humor.
How long have you been dating him?
We've been together 2 years now.
Wow.
And he's much more energetically in alignment with me than the 30-year-old was. So get out of the age, guys, because you're going to limit yourself a lot to the people that you can attract.
Isn't she incredibly fun? Very smart, very witty. We get in a lot of trouble when we banter back and forth. And I have to say, the first time I met her, she called me on my stuff. It was really quite interesting. You can actually find that interview on my YouTube. I believe it's on the red carpet playlist. It could be just look for Dee Wallace and you'll find it there. As well as my interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Lieutenant Uhura, with the founder of UGG, with the founder of Priceline. So lots of wonderful things. So lots of interesting interviews on and off the red carpet on Dr. Marissa YouTube. And finally, I only have a few more times where I can encourage you. And thank you so much for the considerable amount of Happy 88 meals that have already been consumed. It is my holiday special. I am not doing for the sake of safety, and still not on tour, still not doing book signings, just until we get everything cool with this pandemic and the virus. So I just thought I would offer it online. You can buy $88 worth of my Happy 88 meal, which includes the download of my Mommy What Are Feelings book. Every feeling has a taste, touch, sight, and sound, and pictures drawn by my kids when they were 5 and 7. There's excited, and this is scary. There's a reference to my cooking, as well as the audiobook of my #1 best-selling book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are, as well as the 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa, Good Life Habit, as well as my balanced Tai Chi Gong, my Power Chi moving meditation download, and a couple of original songs that brings it a value of $88 for only $28. And the best part of getting your Happy 88 meal is, and just for fun, here's a little visual of my Happy 88 meal. And while the music is playing, you can go to drmarissa.life and find the link for the Happy 88 meal and support my nonprofit, 8 Ways to Happiness, 501c, that helps kids, teens, and young adults who have temporarily forgotten their birthright to happiness. Enjoy. So thank you in advance, and yeah to all those who already have, you know who you are, for supporting my nonprofit and getting a lot of stuff in your Happy 88 meal. All right. And that is it for show number 589. And this is the beginning of my 501st consecutive week on the air. And I'm still loving it. I hope you're still loving it. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room during the pandemic, reminding you that it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. And have the best day ever.